and today we're discussing whether you should have music in your magic act, which I think is, there's trade-offs to it, definitely, especially suit. Yeah, I will say continual. I'm going to like a broken record. Context is ultimately what it comes down to in the whole theme of it, and then trade-offs, tips, different styles. We're going to cover it all in this video. So roll that intro. So, should you have music in your magic act? This is a hotly debated question. We don't want to insult people or be presumptuous, but there are different styles to yes and no of whether you should include magic in your magic act. And it just like, are you a stage performer or are you a close-up performer? On this channel, I focus on close-up because I specialize in close-up. That's what I know how to do. And so I know this from, I can also say it from just observing stage, but it's going to mostly be focused on close-up. But we'll start stage. For stage, it just adds that ambiance, that whole theme to make it all cohesive in many cases. Some people go without it because they're trying to do more of a mentalist magic act, and maybe that they use the music to create that creepy, or that it's not creepy. Excuse the creepiness, not creepy. Whether it be anti-magic, whether that's the style for I forget his name. He was a part of Theory 11 for a while. Or whether you're trying to just elevate the moment, creating a special moment, and then going without it, you don't need it because you want people to hang on every word, and you want to create a special moment. Maybe it creates no music allows for more focus to the routine. There's less distractions, and you're just creating and focusing on that pure moment of whatever's going on in your act. Maybe you want to have a big opening theme. You probably want to include music in it. So there's different trade-offs. In the close-up world, though, what I specialize in, I see a lot of different people doing it. One of the most notable, and this was at the castle when I was there, I'm a former member. I noticed that a lot of Japanese people would compensate for their newer experience to the United States, or, different students of different languages. They would overcome a cultural barrier. I'll just say it for generally, different nationalities and different ethnicities would overcome a cultural barrier by incorporating heavily. It comes to a point where it's heavily incorporating, but in some cases just maybe incorporating their the music into their magic to compensate for any things, and just they could be more directive. How it would be used is they would be more directive in their where they point and stuff of that nature, because it would just be simple. It would be also a little bit of presumption. Instead of saying take a card, they would just be like, you could be suggested pointing, or going up and down. It's suggestive of please take a card, overcoming that cultural barrier, because it was impressive. To me, it was honestly impressive to see that people who didn't really speak much English be able to perform and overcome it through the use of just music, incorporating music into it. So they would have this flash music. I'm kidding, not that song. Please, not that song. But I don't even know where that's from. I know the song. It's top 10 most overrated, the most overused songs in Magic. That's worth a little YouTube search. Open a new tab. But that was a huge way. In a lighter tone, for most native speaking performers for the same language, you might want to add it just to add that little bit of ambiance. In many cases, when you're just not doing a show performance, but a regular standard like bar performance. Sorry, phone call. But in the case of like when I'm doing, when I'm at a venue like a bar like performance, or places, there's a natural level of music, and so you have to suit your magic to overcome that context. So maybe a little bit less words if it's really, really loud and it's mostly visual magic for that context, or if it's medium to lower toning thing, then maybe you can say a couple words and to interact and engage in that work. But like in my performances, where I can, I'd like to incorporate just a very low music, just to create that ambiance, so it just feels like, ooh, we're in a special space. I like to create a special. Not only is there the context for a performance, but you want to create that air of it. So you put on a little bit of ambiance, maybe some lo-fi music, maybe some classical, whatever you jazz style, but not have it distracting. Just like a low, just passive, almost not elevator music per se, but just a calming air. So there's the air of it, and while you're doing a performance, but you have the volume low, but still kind of present, so that you can be heard clearly by the audience. And that's like the most important part, so you don't have to keep on reiterating the point. And so that's if you're doing a performance, low volume. I like doing it. Other people just like to just be a part of the moment and just have the more of the focus just be on the performer and whatever you're doing. So you don't want the music. So I get both respects, and I know there's other reasons as well, but I get the general reason, for going with music or without it. And it's a trade-off you want to consider, whether you want to, invest in all this stuff or, music or however you want to engage about it, versus like, I don't even need it. I can just do it this way. And so in many contexts, most cases, just random performances, I know I say a lot, please forgive me, that it just doesn't, you won't have the music, so you just go without it. And it's just a little added bonus amongst it. So, there's levels of the performance that build it on up, and then there's additionals here, and then there's advanced work up here. But are we able to communicate pure performance or whatever we need? Just communicate, not the pure performance per se, but the core of what we want, the message we want to get across. Was the message gone through? Cool. Were we able to add all the bells and whistles? Maybe, maybe not. Are we just doing random performance for a guy because they figured out I'm an entertainer and might be a possible client? Sure. And you just want to do a quick trick or whatever the case is. So this is just a loose talk, a little light jam session, open up discussion about music. I think it goes both ways, and there's not hearsay nor there. It's just a matter of perspective, opinion, and again, context. So with that said, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't seen this one or this one yet, definitely check it out. And see you in the next one.